Channelers, you know what it is. Jay Devin back at it with another video. As always, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Subscribe if you feel my vibe. Power punch the notification bell for more PvP content. For today's video, we did do some more Jungle Cup. We went in for a first to 5 wins against BestInWest. Now I changed my lineup. What I changed is I wanted to include some kind of grass coverage, particularly as an answer for Lanturn, right? Because we can answer Golem and Graveler with grass, but Lanturn can almost go unchecked if you don't include grass, is how I'm starting to feel about it. So we'll talk about that more a little bit after these battles. We had the open. He brings out the Lanturn. I switch into my Vigoroth. I am going to use a shield here on this first Thunderbolt. We're going to go straight for the body slam. I'm not going to invest if I can. I don't want to invest in another shield if he gets to another Thunderbolt, but that's not very likely because we're going to get to those body slams first. Now, he brings out the Beedrill. I'm not too worried about it because we have the Golem sitting in the front again. So he's going to have to block that body slam because it can do so much against Beedrill. We get another one off. This just goes to show you again how dominant Vigoroth is for this meta. Goes for the X Scissor. Big whoop. We have the Golem good to go. And he gets another X Scissor off. I'm not going to use a shield again at this point. I want to see what he has next, which we're in luck. It is Noctowl. Okay, so we're going for the Wild Charge. In retrospect, I probably just should have gone for the Rock Blast to save a little bit of energy, but it is what it is. I think we win the matchup anyway. Yeah, here it is. We get the other Rock Blast, and that's going to be GG's game 1. So me, I'm at 1 win. Best is at 0. The first to 5 wins is whoever takes the cake for this practice stuff, right? I was a little ballsy. You can see I opened up with Sceptile against the Vigoroth. Not the most ideal open. But he gets the body slam. I'm not going to block it on the Heracross for the first one. I probably should have because he noticed that and he swapped out to Beedrill as soon as he could. So that's one thing to notice as well too. You potentially always want to block the first body slam if you have a Heracross. Maybe. I don't know. But that's what we practice for, right? Now, the Beedrill can spam these X Scissors pretty quick. It can put out the damage quick, but since I have a hard counter, I still don't want to invest in shields and waste my shields at this point. I think I just try to Rock Blast whatever comes out. No, I try and pull a swap. So, okay, so I go in for the Sceptile, getting off the Frenzy Plant damage. Of course, he's going to shield it. I'm going to shield it at this point. Oh, I think I remember. I invested in both shields. Yeah, I invested in both shields. And that's lesson number 1 that I learned about Sceptile. I mean, you know, it's cool. He looks cool. I love Sceptile. Personally, one of my favorite Pokemon. But I find myself always having to use 1 or at least 2 shields just on the Sceptile, right? He's cool. He can get Fury Cutter as well as, you know, Aerial Ace, Frenzy Plant, Leaf Blade, whatever you want to use. But there's just better options. Again, we'll talk about that after. So I go in for the Mirror at this point. I don't want to block the first Body Slam. Maybe I should have. But now I'm going to block another one at this point, and I'm going to try and use my own Body Slams. Not necessarily piggybacking. It was kind of a bad play, but he did let it go and shielded, so his Vigoroth is down. And now we're waiting for whatever else comes out, and we're just going to go straight for the body slam. And it is the Lanturn, which I feel like right now is kind of bad news, right? Because I have my Noctowl, which is not going to be good against the Lanturn, so I decided to opt for the Venomoth. Now, this could potentially be a whole different episode and conversation to have about Venomoth for the Jungle Cut meta. I like it. I only started using it in these first to 5 wins against BestInWest, and it kind of felt like a good damage generalist overall. The main thing you want to look out for when you're using Venomoth is obviously the rock throwers, right? As well as the steel Pokemon, Magneton, Magnezone, and then Forretress. Those are all going to be bad news for Venomoth, but other than that, it's really strong. Confusion, and if you have Legacy Poison Fang, but also Silverwind could potentially give you a boost. Not that the boost makes that much of a difference, you know, when it comes down to hard counters, but hey, I liked it. It's pretty cool. He has the open here. I'm going to switch out automatically. I'm going in for the Venomoth because I wanted to have kind of an even match. He was smart. He switched out very quickly, too, into his Noctowl, which is a very good hard counter against Venomoth with the flying damage. I think I use a shield. No, I don't use a shield, actually. I just let it go down. Oh, because we have the Golem sitting in the front, right? So we're going to Rock Throw him out of here. I'm sitting pretty good because Golem's almost at full health and I got a Rock Blast ready to go. Now, I decided to just use the Rock Blast I don't know why I didn't switch out. What else did I have? I think I also had a Noctowl sitting in the back. Yeah, I potentially should have just switched into Noctowl earlier. I don't know. We'll see how the rest of this battle goes. No, yeah, it's... I think I played it, potentially as best as I could. My team composition for this battle versus Best's team composition for this battle were... For the most part, he had the advantage. He played it very well. I tried to, because again, I was experimenting with Venomoth. These were the first battles I even tried it. I didn't really know, personally, what was good to comp with Venomoth. What does Venomoth sit good with? I know Heracross is going to sit very well with Magneton, but Venomoth, I mean, what is that? What do you pair Venomoth with? I'll have to look into it, or you guys can look into it. If you already have some ideas on what Venomoth pairs really well with, throw it down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Maybe it'll be the next episode featuring Venomoth. Going into more battles, I've totally lost track at this point during this recording at which one we're on. But I open with the Vigoroth. I feel like Vigoroth by far, even according to the Sims, PvPoke has him as, scored as 100 as the lead. I'm pretty confident in that. I feel like he is the best lead overall. Now, I didn't really have to switch when I look back and I watch these battles. Switching, I didn't necessarily have to. I could have just used a shield and body slam the Scyther out of the sky because he would have had to use shield. Scyther can be pretty squishy, but it is what it is. Again, that's why we practice. That's why I make these videos and these content for you guys. We all got to learn one way or another. Now, I'm definitely going to use the shield at this point. I have a huge advantage with my Vigoroth versus his. He did have another body slam built up. I'm not going to shield that one. I don't know whether it was a good idea to have not shielded it at that point. Potentially, it is what it is because we got the body slam off against the Scyther anyway. And even though we're going to lose that matchup, we're going to take the cake. I think was Sceptile. No, I remember this one now. He had the Noctowl sitting in the back pocket. I tried to be a little tricky, with my moves and whatever. This is another moment where I'm like, wow, Sceptile sucks. Sceptile is not the best choice. There's better options. You're much better off. I mean, in this case, for example, again, we'll talk about this more after the battles are over. But if I'd had Venusaur with Sludge Bomb in those situations, potentially could have gone very different, right? Venusaur is going to be the best grass. If you even use a grass, I'm going to say Venusaur might be the best option. Obviously, they're different Pokemon. They're going to have different, uses and different utility, but that's how I feel about it so far. Now, this is kind of the matchup I was hoping for. He opened up with Lanturn. I opened up with Venomoth. I want to see how this matchup goes. He uses a shield on the first one. I'm going to shield his Thunderbolt. And we're just going to... I think we go for Silverwind. Yeah, we do. So we go for the Silverwind. It goes unshielded. Look how much damage... Silverwind and then one Confusion and it's done. And now we have a Poison Fang ready for this Vigoroth. I think he shields it. Nope, he doesn't. But that was a really good matchup. Now, obviously, we're going to come in with the Heracross. He has the Noctowl. I'm going to switch to my hard counter, which is going to be the Golem. And I'm not going to block this. A Psychic. It kind of hurts. It does a good amount of damage, but Psychic's really not too scary. Noctowl's not going to get stabbed from it. Psychic's not a amazing, super impressive move. But it is what it is. So he's going to be able to take us out. I don't even know why I went in with the Golem. All he had was the Vigoroth left, and I had the Heracross too. I'd done so many battles today at that point, I was just like, okay, whatever. I was a little out of it, a little distracted, a little bit tired too, to be honest. I feel like I'm still kind of recovering from GoFest. Now this open, I wanted to try it again without switching out immediately from the Scyther, right? So I get the body slam off first, then look at that. Did you see that? I got the body slam off. Since I knew I got it off unshielded, I switch into my Golem, which... Scyther's gone. Thanos snap from Golem. Now he has the Heracross coming out at this point. Not too bad, because I do have this Venomoth ready to go, right? I don't think I needed to use a shield against that Megahorn. It probably was a waste now that I look back at it, but in the moment, I wasn't familiar with the matchup. I didn't know how it could have gone. Now we're getting off the Silverwind here. I'm hoping for the boost, but it does so much damage against the Vigoroth. I think I use another shield because Confusion hits so hard. I'm confident I can get rid of his Vigoroth before he can do anything else again. Now, we get the Poison Fang off immediately against the Heracross, and that's GG's. So I don't even know how many wins or how many losses we're all at this point. We're just testing out this team of 6 different matchups. I want to get a feel for my team choices and different things that happen in this meta, because the meta is still brand new. It's not even live yet. It doesn't even go live for a whole nother week, right? So Vigoroth versus Noctowl, you're going to have to use a shield when you're Noctowl, right? The sky attacks, nothing you have is going to be super effective to Vigoroth, and those body slams, with how frequently Vigoroth can get them off, and the neutral damage from counter, it's absurd. If you're going to win the matchup with Noctowl versus Vigoroth, you have to use at least one shield. Now I'll bring it out next. I'm pretty confident, obviously, I'm going to go for the Venomoth. We have the Poison Fang good to go, so we're going to spam it right away. It does go unshielded. That probably was a waste. I shouldn't have used the Poison Fang right away. With how low of health he had left, I could have just used Confusion. But he switches out, obviously, because we went into our Golem. It was a smart move, even though we have hard counters for both of what he has. He plays this very, very well. And his team comp, this is why I think I might want to try out Beedrill too, is how best performed with Beedrill. I mean, Beedrill, I wasn't too scared of it. You know, when I saw his team composition and his team of 6, I was like, Beedrill, big whoop. But it performs so well. It can get to X-Scissor super quick. I believe Beedrill can also carry Aerial Ace, and then of course Sludge Bomb, which is just going to do massive damage with Stab, right? Going into the next battle, I forget what I open with. I'm pretty sure I want to go for a Vigoroth lead again. I felt like overall the only thing he could do with his team composition, right, to really shut me down with that is to lead with Heracross or to lead with Beedrill, but it went all right. I potentially should have just gone for the Bulldoze here instead of trying to shield bait, because he didn't shield it. I don't know if that Bulldoze would have KO'd him. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to run the sim on that. If you already know the answer, throw it in the comment below. But he brings out his Vigoroth right away. I waited a little bit too long to go for my Body Slam, because he was able to get his off first. But we have our Heracross sitting out here. I do shield this Body Slam. I want to save as much health points as I can on my Heracross for whatever else is coming out, which might have been a bad idea, since I know for almost a fact he's going to carry hard counters to my Heracross. So it's another thing to keep in mind. If you're almost 100% certain they're going to hard counter you, maybe you don't need to use a shield in certain situations, right? Now we have the Heracross out. Do you see how close that was? I was so upset. But let's go run some sims. I want to still, potentially keep looking into grass coverage, because I don't want to get swept by Lanturn teams in this Jungle Cup meta. So Venusaur, right? Grass and poison typing, Vine Whip, Frenzy Plant, Sludge Bomb, massive damage. He's a legend. He's been a legend for the longest time. I think he's always going to be a legend. But running some sims against Lanturn, right? The only situation where Lanturn can come out on top is he has to straight up have a 2-0 shield advantage. So obviously, that probably goes without saying. Venusaur is going to obliterate him, right? But I also want to see how Venusaur is going to actually do against Vigoroth, okay? Because Venusaur, being part poison typing, is going to resist the counter. Body Slam is still a huge threat, but at least counter is going to be resisted and not neutral like the Noctowl matchup. Now, it's looking kind of favorable for the most part. And I think, based off this, people might be running more than one bug type in their team of 3 when they're going against you, especially if they see a Venusaur. I don't know if, you can count on that necessarily, but that's why I'm still 100%. I'm still going to include a Rock Thrower so far in my team of 6, is because of that and that alone. And also Lanturn, I need some grass. But that was it, guys. That was it for this Jungle Cup video. If you enjoyed, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel my vibe. And how to punch the notification bell for more PvP content. But yeah, that's all for this Jungle Cup video. We'll see you in the next Jungle Cup video. Have a good freaking day.